I can't see it right unless it's told to me with color. Then I in turn tell another, who in turn tells someone else.
I consider myself wildly genre agnostic. I'm never intentionally using genre in my work. I mostly am trying to figure out the right conversation that the lyric wants to be in. And I am just by my nature like a highly unliteral lyricist. And I think that that's because figurative language sort of makes me feel like I can draw connections between the things that I'm experiencing and don't understand and other things that I'm experiencing and don't understand.
That is an excerpt from an interview with 2025 MacArthur Fellow Heather Christian, a composer, lyricist, playwright, and vocalist, creating music theater performances that explore the possibility for the sacred and spiritual in our modern world. Her immersive concert pieces range from the rousing to the ethereal, as she imbues choral singing with emotional urgency and interpersonal drama. In this episode, we go in depth with Heather to learn more about her work, and her exceptional creativity. Let's hear more from her interview.
When I was a very little girl, I was really scared of everything. There was like something about me fundamentally that was hard to feel like the world had my best interest at heart. So I really shrunk away from a lot of things. And then this miraculous thing happened. My dad got me a pair of headphones and a Walkman. And I turned into like the little girl that lived in headphones. And at a certain stage, I started to notice that there were certain chord changes and certain like melismatic phrases or certain lyrics paired with melody that just sort of changed the way that I processed the world around me. It made me feel braver and bigger. It sort of like declawed the world to a certain extent. And I think that was really like the formative thing, is I was like, ooh, music is a superpower. And if I could learn how to wield that, then that's, A, that's awesome, and B, it might be kind of a sacred vocation. I was born in New Orleans, Louisiana. I was raised in Natchez, Mississippi. So I am an artist that comes from the American Deep South. When I first started making work, I didn't really think of myself as a Southern artist, but the older that I get, the more I understand actually how Southern an artist I am. When you grow up in the South, you're sort of raised to hold complexity. It's so very obvious every single day there that the land holds such violence, that the land holds such inhumanity and evil, but at the same time, the people are so kind. There's like a real generosity, there's a patience. There's like an epic beauty about the flora and the fauna. And they exist together. Both of them are truths, and like one doesn't eclipse the other. They just are simultaneously. And it's that I think is like a fundamental part of my work. I am very interested in complexity. I'm very interested in interrogating truths that are seemingly contradictory that we have to hold together at once.
I can't see it right with my arrow or my lens, as a soft word that has fallen, open carefully.
I'm dealing with spirituality because I feel called to do it. It's not that I have any like, big artistic mission statement that I'm trying to make. It's more that like, this is what makes me curious. This is what keeps me questioning. I feel sort of evangelistic about curiosity and wonder being human traits and values that are slowly going extinct in this age of information. And that to me is the biggest mystery. Why are we here? For what purpose are we here?
For every bridge a
There's like thousands of years of musical traditions across cultures making sacred music. And there's weird mysteries still there, despite the like planets of paper that have been written about it. You know, across traditions, a 5-chord feels sort of linear and majestic. A 6-chord feels like a mysterious, tentative tete-a-tete. A 7-chord, there's like something homespun about it, something like deeply rootsy and human. There's no unified like theory that says that this is why those things are. Even neurologists like disagree. So in my head, there is something either biological or there's something neurological or there's something sacred and actually divine about these sonic spaces and how we hear them and how we resonate with them. And that is like space that I want to live in and dwell in. If an audience member is coming to my work for the first time, I think what they can expect to experience is something non-traditional. They can probably expect to see a choir. They will probably be in contemplation of something sacred and unknowable, although that manifests itself in different ways across my shows. I would hope that my audience experiences some sort of catharsis in a gentle and safe way. Really what I'm trying to do is like unseat the expectation of what's supposed to happen in theatrical space enough to where there's like a crack in the veneer of everyone who comes to see it. And through that crack, the hope is that I can sort of get in there and like really talk to people.
Your song to me, your silence is a eulogy.
I feel like I'm very much living on the border between theater and music. And I, quite frankly, really enjoy it out here in the borderlands. I don't think that my work is just concert music, but it's not totally theater either, because it's true that I don't use language as the primary delivery system for the information in my shows. Music is the primary speaker. You kind of have to change your brain a little bit and understand that music is what is carrying the narrative or the arc or the EKG of the show. And music exists for itself. It's not contextualizing or serving anything else. Everything else is like contextualizing and serving it. So you can't produce it the same way that you produce theater, and it doesn't really fit itself in tidy boxes of how theater is made. I think there's dozens of ways that music can interact with the lyric, and there are even like dozens upon dozens of ways that music can interact with the lyric, can interact with the narrative. I mostly feel that like music is inherently a conversation. It's an ecosystem. Music exists primarily in harmony and dissonance don't exist on their own. They only exist as notes in relation to each other. And this, I think, is an idea that scales. Like what color temperature the light is when you're witnessing the thing, and what costume the performer is wearing, who's delivering it, and what kind of information that gives you about them, the timbre of their voice, the emotional quality of their voice. And then you get to the audience, and everything is in communion or conversation with exactly who that person is, who they are today, what just happened to them, their desires, their expectations. I think about all of this stuff less linearly. I think about things as a creative megalopolis. Everything's sort of like talking to each other. And it's this like city of meaning that I'm trying to deal with. And I'm not particularly interested in creative efficiency as much as I'm interested in like making a treasure map that you can follow towards whatever you think the show means. And it's that journey and finding it that takes the evening. And I think that that journey is a part of the kind of catharsis that I'm trying to help lead people to.
For what more could I desire from you than you?
Heather Christian continues to create music for numerous theater, television, and film productions, as well as release music with her group, Heather Christian and the Arbonauts. You can hear more of her work at heatherchristian.bandcamp.com. The MacArthur Fellows program identifies and supports extraordinarily creative individuals with a track record of excellence who demonstrate the ability to impact society in significant and beneficial ways through their pioneering work. To learn more, visit us at macfound.org.